Hi, I'm Tracy Keller with Rise to It. You were made for more. I recently had the opportunity to interview this amazing coach at Sam Houston High School. Phillip is going to tell you a little bit about his journey. I want to show you this was Phillip when he started his journey. The Phillip that I'm going to introduce you to, this is him now. What I want you to see, it wasn't so much a weight loss journey as it was a journey of living, truly living. So, I believe this is going to be an incredible inspiration, and you are going to love him. So, here we go. Hi, this is Tracy Keller with Rise to It, and today I have an amazing guest, Phillip, that I met years ago when we were both getting our alternative teaching certification. And I've kept up with Phillip on Facebook, and I had noticed this extraordinary change just watching him through the years, and he was dropping this tremendous amount of weight and just on this incredible health journey. So today I wanted to visit and just ask him, first of all, Phillip, well, it just intrigued me when I saw your picture, and what an incredible journey. I think the biggest thing, the thing I love to ask people is, what started the journey? Did you just wake up one morning and go, okay, today's it. This is the day. Things are gonna change, or was it a progression of, I want to feel better. Tell me about it.
So I'm a football coach, and last year my school district there was some problems, and they were rifting people, and no one knew, there was no criteria for the rift. And so I was going through a whole bunch of stress, and I didn't know if I was going to be working. I didn't know if I was going to have a job. And I went to visit a doctor.
So this was a year ago.
This was October 6th of 2017.
Okay, that gives us a timeline.
And I went to the doctor. We had a game that night, and I knew that I wasn't living very healthy. I was eating whatever I wanted, and I just wasn't living healthy. And so I went to the doctor, and I had never been close to being diabetic, and diabetes runs in my family, and I've seen what it does to people. And
it's a wicked disease.
It is. And so the doctor came in, and they tested my AH1C, and which they had never done. And she almost seemed to be happy. And she was like, your AH1C has gone up like 2 points from the last blood test. And she's like, so we're going to call you diabetic. And I said, what is the criteria? I asked a whole bunch of questions, and basically I was 6.9, and to have diabetes, you're supposed to be 7.0. And I told her, well, I don't think I'm diabetic. And I said, I think I've just been eating bad. And she was like, no, you're diabetic. And so I argued with her a little bit, and I went on my way. And I was feeling really, really bad. Like, I felt depressed. I was just feeling horrible about it. And we had a game, so I came back to work. We had a game that night, and so we were playing the game, and in the middle of the game, we had a really good play. And I started to celebrate, and so I lifted up my arms, and I started yelling and high-fiving people, and all of a sudden, I lost my breath. And no matter what I could do, I couldn't grab my breath. And so I sat down.
That's scary.
It's real scary. And so I without saying anything, I sat down on the bench, and I sat there trying to breathe. And one of the coaches noticed and came over, and he said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I told him, I'm fine, but I really wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was scared. I was thinking the whole time that I couldn't breathe, I was thinking, I didn't have chest pain, I just couldn't breathe. And I I was thinking, man, this is gonna be embarrassing. They're gonna put me out on a cart in the middle of the football field, and I'm not even playing, you know. So eventually, I got my breath, and but I was just scared, and we ended up winning the game, but I couldn't even, and it was a big game, and I couldn't even celebrate because in the back of my mind, I felt like, oh, I'm dying or something's not right, and so I started to pray about it a lot, and that night, the next day, I decided that night that I was going to try and start eating better. I have arthritis in my knees and ankles, and so exercise for me, it can only be done in a swimming pool.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so during the winter, I really don't have time to exercise. So I said, well, I'm going to start changing my diet. And
So what did that look like?
I didn't know. I didn't know at all. I just knew in my head I'm going to start changing my diet.
That's where it starts.
And so the way I can explain it is I was in constant meditation throughout the day. So the next day at school, that was a Thursday night game, was varsity. The next day, Friday, throughout the day, I was just like, Lord, help me. Like, I'm trying to eat better. I'm going to eat salad today. I'm going to eat this. And so I just constantly was praying throughout the day, little prayers throughout the day, just help me. And I guess just asking for strength.
Were you craving all those old foods?
I was,
was it a
everything like
constant-
that first week. I mean, that first at the beginning, yeah, I was addicted to sugar. The sugar's bad, man. Like, I've been doing a lot of the research, and sugar is like more addictive than cocaine.
It is.
It just kills you slower.
Yeah.
So the next day I had a JV game, and we, I coached the JV team defense, and we won that game, and I was driving home, and the way it worked out was you have certain responsibilities. So I ended up having to do the laundry for the JV. That was my turn to do all the laundry, and so everyone had left, everyone had gone home, and I was doing laundry by myself. So by the time I was on my way home, it was 11 o'clock at night, and I don't know how, I mean, I was alone. Like, friends were out of town. I don't know how it worked out, but it was a Friday night, and I was 100% alone. Like, so I was going to go home and go to sleep and be back at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. But I thought, I'm hungry, I need to eat something, because I hadn't eaten since lunch. And I was trying really, really hard to not snack, And so on the way home, I decided to stop at Jim's. And so I stopped to eat at Jim's, and I got a salad, a piece of meat, no bread. And I said, I'm just gonna eat good. I'm gonna eat something at Jim's. I don't have time to cook. So when I sat at Jim's, there was a gentleman there who was witnessing to another gentleman, and about Jesus and God, and I started to get angry with it, because I was overhearing. I guess I was eavesdropping. I was overhearing, and I guess the cover didn't match the book, and so I felt like it was like he was preaching prison religion, like
fear-based.
Like I've done all this stuff wrong in my life, and now I'm telling you how to live, and I was like, man, that it was just getting to me. I was like, man, this guy, like, he's really making this guy kind of feel bad about his life, and that's not cool, like, and I was getting kind of angry about it. And as I sat there finishing my meal, I was like, whatever. I really don't like that. And so I was waiting for the bill, and it never came. And finally, I asked the waitress. I said, "Hey, I need to pay." And she said, "That gentleman paid for you." And she pointed to the gentleman who I was getting angry at. And I said, "What?" And she said, "That gentleman paid for you." And I said, "No." I said, "I'm gonna pay." And she said, "No, he already paid." And so I was like, "Oh Lord, now he's gonna want to talk to me." I was like, "I don't want to deal with this dude." But I went over and I said, "Thank you." I was like, "It was unnecessary." And he said, "No." He said, I was sitting here, and God just told me that you needed someone to pay for you." And he said, "And you're not going to steal my blessing." And I said, all right. And so I just kind of got more angry.
That's so interesting.
And I started walking out of the restaurant. And so from the restaurant, from the front door of the restaurant to my truck, in the middle of the parking lot, I had the second time I had a God moment.
So Phillip,
and I was just hit, like right there in the parking lot.
Phillip had shared with me earlier about he had faced death years and years ago, and God had spoken to him that one day he would coach and teach and that he was going to live. So now we're fast forwarding to he is coaching, he is teaching. So this is his second encounter with God. Okay,
yes.
Tell us more.
And I'm lucky because, like I said, I'm just lucky about it. So so I barely made it to my truck because right in the middle of the parking lot, like God just hit me, and like I could.
What did he say?
He was like, he said, I told you I would take care of you, right? That's number one. And number two, what he started, he's gonna finish. And I was worried about my career. I was worried about diabetes. I was worried about all this stuff, and like all of a sudden, it was just like pow. And so tears were coming down my eyes. Barely made it to my truck, and I sat there, and I just like, I didn't know. I mean, I couldn't drive. I sat in my truck for like 30 minutes, and I knew like it was this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right then and there, the third thing was all you have to do is try, right? And that was the third thing. And I remember thinking, like, I told the doctor that I had just stopped trying to be healthy.
Interesting. Okay.
And I was like, so all I got to do is try. And so I promised myself and God that I was going to just try. And I said, okay, so I'm going to try whatever I can do. And then that's all I can do. And
right.
And then let God handle the rest. And so, so that night, I decided. I went home, and the next day I woke up and I started just researching, and I decided, okay, I cut all bread and I cut sugar, and that was the first thing. And then the second, and then after a while, I got hooked up into the keto diet, and I realized I was eating oatmeal every day for breakfast, and eating lots of fruit, and so I realized, okay, I'm eating the worst thing I can eat for breakfast. And then grapes and watermelon, that's like the worst thing. It's not worse for everybody, but it's the worst thing for me.
You were finding out for
Yeah.
you. And up to this point, Phillip has lost 168 pounds?
I was at 165 as of this morning. I'm at 170.
170 pounds he's lost. So you want to hear this. Keep going.
And so I just put my head down, and I started just doing whatever I could do, and just trying. And I went a year and a half. From October 2017 to December 25th, 2018, I had no cheat days. So
So what did that look like? So what does a day look like?
So for
I think
me,
that'll help us.
So for me, I wake up in the morning and I drink coffee with heavy whipping cream and sweet and low. That's usually my breakfast. And then for lunch, I eat salad.
So you're doing kind of an intermediate fast.
Yeah, I do an intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. Okay. I'll try and eat when I can. I'll try and be done with dinner by 8 o'clock at night, and then I eat about 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day.
Okay.
And then when I eat my lunch, then when I go home, I eat some sort of meat and salad or green vegetable. And that's what I've been doing for a year and a half.
So how long did it take for the cravings to, like, where you weren't going, oh, I just...
So the first month, after the first week of being on keto, I started getting the keto flu, and I had to take care of that, like the salt and water. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was cool, because when I drank the water, matter of fact, I was sitting right here, and I was like, oh God, I feel horrible. And I did the water and salt, and within 15, 20 minutes, I was great. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what, like, it's working. Like, that's exactly
usually what I find with people that when their body's in ketosis and they're not feeling good is, are they drinking the water? Are you getting your Himalayan sea salt
Yes,
in,
yes.
and it helps with the electrolytes.
And
Yeah.
so I knew it was working, like just because I felt bad, and that's what the research says. You're gonna feel bad, and I was like, well, wow, it worked. And then at one point, I decided I was gonna try and fast, and I had never been able to fast, like ever. Like like I'd go like 30 minutes, and I'd be like, there ain't no way, right? So I decided I was gonna try and fast, and I did. I woke up. I didn't. I ate on Friday night around 6 o'clock at night, and I went. I did my normal thing. Went to bed. Woke up, and I came to work. And I halfway through the day, it was probably about 1 o'clock. I was like, you know what? I'm not hungry. I was like, I think I can go 24 hours. I was like, I think I'm gonna really try to go 24 hours. And so I went home, and my mom and dad were there, and my mom was like, well, I'm cooking dinner. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go up to my room. Like, I was like, and before I knew, I just kept busy, and before I knew it, I went 28 hours. And I think I could have gone longer, but mentally I was like, this is crazy. This is like crazy. Like, I have to eat.
Yeah.
So the first time I fasted like a full 24 hours, I was just blown away.
Now, do you do fast periodically?
Now I do.
You do.
I try. I haven't done.
detox
I haven't
for the
done
body.
any like long fast. I guess in my head I still don't like. I'm very busy, so.
Yeah.
But I do at least 16 and 18-hour fast at least twice a week.
Nice.
Twice to 3 times a week. Yeah.
Gives your whole digestive system a break. And
And if you're not hungry, that's the whole thing about it. Like, I never believed not being hungry. Like, I was always hungry. So
which is what?
that's the sugar.
Sugar.
That's
Yes.
the sugar.
It is.
And so eventually, when without the sugar, I just stopped having the cravings. A matter of fact, like what's weird is like if I see someone eating something really really sweet, in my mind I kind of get like ugh, like.
So your
Like,
body has really healed from that.
I'm hoping, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an addiction though, so you can't go back. You can't
Now,
go back.
have you had any sugar? You said you didn't cheat up to this point, so you still haven't had sugar.
I
what
I
about
ate
Christmas
sugar on
and-
Christmas.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
And then so the story on that is I also drank some wine on Christmas. So I hadn't had alcohol in the whole time either. And so I drank some wine on Christmas, and I ate a piece of pie, and I ate 4 homemade tamales.
And how'd you feel?
And the next morning I felt horrible. Like horrible. I didn't want to get out of bed. I felt like and it wasn't a hangover. It was just feeling
Right,
bad.
right.
It was just feeling bad.
Well, your
Like,
body had been so cleaned out, and then now you're adding.
and I just and the whole day I was thinking, you know what? I did this. Like, I enjoyed what I ate,
That's right.
but
I believe in that.
but I did
believe in
this.
that.
Like, I
Mhm.
did it. Like, I feel like this now, and I don't want to feel like this.
There you go.
And so that's why I've kind of hit a plateau the last few weeks. The last few months, but the last 2 weeks I've lost more.
Okay.
So even though I've hit a plateau, I'm still doing what I do. And and the way I see it now is
Yeah, tell me.
it's
Tell
my
me.
life. Like, it's not like a diet.
It has to be.
That's just my
it.
life.
Mhm.
That's it. Like, I can't go back. Like, there's no way. I mean, I won't survive. So 6 months after I started the diet, or trying to live healthy, I guess that's better.
Yeah.
I went for the 6 months checkup, and they tested my H1C again, and it had dropped to a 5.2.
Wow.
And-
What did your doctor say?
At first they were like, she asked me, she was like, are you trying to lose weight? And I said, no, I'm not trying to lose weight. I said, I'm trying to live healthy. I said, the weight loss is just happening. Like I said, I'm just trying to live healthy. And so she came back, and she was like, well, this is really good. She was like, as long as you're trying to lose weight. She was like, because if not, then diabetes is really bad. And I said, no. And she said, well, it's got to be the metformin you're taking. And I said, no. I said, because I'm only taking half of what you told me to take. I said, so, and that blew her away. And I said, and I think I'm going to stop taking the other half. I
And
said,
did you?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm going to wait. So then the year checkup, I went in and my AH1C was a 4.7, and
That's
my
incredible.
blood pressure was, which I've had high blood pressure for 20 years. My blood pressure was 100 over 72, and so
Wow.
now over the summer I was swimming. I was swimming 4 to 5 days a week.
And how did that affect your body? Did you
Um,
feel even healthier? Did you feel
the
better?
the swimming, yes. I mean, obviously, I don't believe like the losing weight doesn't come from the exercise, but the feeling good and the lifestyle and
Mm-hmm.
the everything else.
Right.
So
I feel like it gives us some clarity.
so when I
and-
started swimming over the summer, like the energy level goes up. You feel good. Like you wake up in the morning, you got energy. You know.
Right.
I mean, when I played football, I weighed 265 when I played football, and I hadn't been 265 since my first year in college, and so that's my goal. Like I'm trying
Okay.
to get back to 265. I don't know when I'm gonna hit that, but I
And
know
you don't need to worry about it. You just
is
keep living.
just keep doing it.
Keep doing
Keep
what you're
doing it.
doing.
Yeah.
Well, you are such an inspiration, and I'm going to share your picture from Facebook
That's fine.
that really caught my attention. But I love the journey, and I love that it wasn't like this big, I'm going to go lose this weight. It was like, I'm going to live.
Yeah, that's what I told everyone, like my mom, dad, everybody from when I started. I said, look, my goal is to be healthy. I'm not even worried about losing weight. I said I'm tired of being unhealthy, and I figured as long as I try, then that's
You heard the voice of God.
that's
You
it,
keep-
right? And so it's just been constantly, as long as I'm trying. And so now, ironically, that's what I tell the kids that I coach. I'm like, our job is to try, and God will bless the effort.
There you
That's
go.
my
He
that's
meets
my
you.
yeah that's my mantra the last year and a half. God will bless the effort.
I
That's
love
it.
that.
And
Well, I
that's
so
me.
appreciate you sharing your time with me.
Thank you.
I really wanted to hear it from you, your story, and I just love the, you know, kind of that trigger, like when something shifted in your brain. Because I feel like so often, you know, we make all these promises to ourselves, but it's like that shift of like, okay, something's got to be different,
Yeah,
and then you take
It-
the steps.
that you have. I mean,
I want to ask you one thing before we go.
Okay.
When you were eating what you thought to be healthy, and I love what you said too. For me, this didn't work. What brought you to, okay, I'm going to try keto? Like, what?
honestly, there was a female that I was dating that I had started to date, and her son had lost about 100 pounds doing keto, and so she kind of kept telling me, and I was like, no, I'm doing my thing. I was a football player. I was this. I was that. I know what I'm doing, and and I did lose some weight doing what I was doing, but I hit a plateau, and it seemed
And you
like
still, were the cravings worse?
the cravings were bad. I still would get hungry. I was still, and so she stayed on me, and I told her, I said, look, you know what? I'm gonna try keto for a month, and I said, and if it works, then I told her, if everything you're telling me is gonna happen, and it happens in a month, I said,
Then I'm in.
then I'm in. I said, I'm gonna give you a month, and so that first month, I lost 10% of my body weight, and it just like that first month, I think I lost like 30 something pounds in a month.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I said, well, okay. So I said, I'm in. And ironically, she's out, but
Well, I think it's like what you said. It has to become you have to decide it's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can't go, I'm going to be on this diet for
Yes.
a certain amount of time.
well, and the thing is, that's my diet now.
Mhm.
Like I eat
That's
vegetables, green vegetables, and I eat protein, and that's it.
and it, you know, God
I don't
does
even
best.
I don't even do like fat bombs anymore, or like that bulletproof coffee. I don't even need. I just drink regular coffee, so I don't even need the
You found what works for your body.
And well, what works is God, and then just me like trying.
Yeah.
Like,
And him bless. I love that. And he blesses the
He
effort.
blesses the effort. That's the
Well,
thing.
I so appreciate your story.
You're welcome.
And
It's
I
cool.
know it's
Thank
going
you
to
for
really help
letting me
other
tell it.
people.
I don't tell
Yeah?
people too much. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
posted that picture just because I was cleaning some stuff out, and I found those pants, and I was like, wow. And my dad said, wow. And my dad said, let me take a picture of that. And I said, okay.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Because it really gives other people hope and inspiration. And you know, we need to be inspired.
Yes.
Motivated, we have to have somebody standing on top of us. Inspired, it's like, maybe I can do it too.
Yeah.
And so you're an inspiration.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So again, this is Phillip, and I so appreciate him, and we're going to continue. I'm going to keep up with his journey, and we'll continue to share.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.